What is going on? So obviously this is a big heated talking point in the HSR community, that they really fumbled the ball with the Fate Stay Night collab, or essentially just the Fate collab with Honkai Star Rail. A bunch of different people are not happy about various different aspects of the collab. Obviously a big one being the fact that the voices are only in Japanese. The writing was terrible, and they didn't implement the characters 100% properly, with the whole summoning mechanic and all that. I'm seeing a lot of negativity coming from people who really like the Fate series, and let me preface this, that I've never watched Fate. I have no idea anything about the universe, about the lore, and all of that with the series. I have no idea, and that's kind of weird. I get it, but I have no idea. I can only look at it at the lens of if an anime of my choice collabed with HSR in that aspect. That's the only way I can personally relate to somebody else being very upset about the collab. The whole voices thing, I get that's very lame and pathetic. They should have at least had some English voice actors doing it, whatever, regardless of a strike or whatnot. This is a collab. The whole point of a collab is twofold. Number one, it's to bring two communities together, that being in this aspect the Fate community and the Honkai Star Rail community. Whether you are a fan of both or not, that's entirely on you, but the whole point of the collab is to bring both the communities together. The second aspect on it, in honestly out of multitude of gacha games that I've played, is to implement the characters properly into the game that it's being collabed with. So in this sense, it's Honkai Star Rail. You're implementing Archer and Saber. Whether other characters should have been or not, I don't know. Licensing and all that, and how much you're paying for that, whatever, that's up in the air. But that is a huge factor, because that adds more revenue into the game that the collab is happening with. So there's that out of the way, right? Obviously, something I want to talk about is the pacing, because a lot of people weren't happy about how it was written and whatnot. Right here is Nasu Nikoto, is the creator of the Fate series. He oversaw the HSR and Fate collaboration. Now, what's important to note, we scroll down here, is that they had 3 writers assigned to this project, were long-time Type Moon fans, and their schedules followed full immersion into the collab, combined with Natsu Sensei's invaluable feedback and supervision is the key part. Now, I get the fact that people might be upset with Hoyoverse. This is me not defending them. It's just I think the hate is misdirected, and besides the point, I don't think there should be hate anyways. It's a freaking collab. Any collab in a game, guess what it's designed, like I said, is to bring both communities together and to make money. That's what it's designed to do. So and for the most part, any collab is, for the most part, now I'm sure there might be some outliers I can't think of or have not participated in, but for the most part, most collabs aren't good. We have 2 separate universes here. We have the Fate universe and we have the HSR universe. And trying to incorporate them with one another is extremely difficult and convoluted in and of itself. So you can't expect a perfect story. That's never gonna happen for any collab, no matter the game. The fact that we have somebody who created the Fate series, was a supervisor in providing feedback onto the collaboration. See, he's focused on making sure his product is good and looks good. Whether or not it's properly implemented or not is to be seen, unless it's actually out there, which, boom, it did, get to be out there. So while I've seen some people say that they're gonna quit the game for this, okay, if you were expecting this to be perfect, not any of these individuals in particular, just broadly stroke, right? If you were expecting this collab to be perfect, you are already going into it with misguided expectations. Every collab, you should just go in with one expectation. That is, I hope the characters are great designed. I hope their animations are good. If I want to pull for them, I'll pull for them. And the story. The whole and the whole thing about them reusing assets of Penacony, that's good. If you wanted it to take part in like the Fate universe and their worlds or whatever, guess what? That's even more money and assets that Hoyoverse has to pay for Fate. Whether they want to do that or not, clearly they didn't. And you can't knock them. They're a business. Yes, they have a shit ton of money, but guess what? They have shareholders. They have all of that stuff. So I just find it extremely dumb and stupid how so many people are extremely upset by this. Like, get over it. I say that tongue in cheek, but it's just, you know, you can't expect it to be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect. Get the character if you want. That's fine. No one's stopping you. If you don't want to get the character, don't get the character. Archer was given out for free. Very nice. Now doing it 200 or like 200 polls to get his like count, I think that's a little ridiculous. 150, 100, perfectly fine. 200, that's a little stupid. But it is honestly ridiculous. As someone who enjoys the pacing or not necessarily the pacing, the story writing of HSR universe in itself, I didn't really care for this event. You know, because I didn't have any expectations. I'm like, all right, cool, another collab. Guess what? It's probably going to be shit. Ended up being shit, according to other people. I haven't played through it yet. I haven't pulled for the characters because I have no emotional connection to these characters, which I think is another reason why people are very upset. That since I have no emotional connection to any of the fake characters, I'm like, I really don't care. I just pulled Final. I'm saving for Sarah Edra. Like, it's a big reasoning why people do collabs or companies do collabs, because they want that emotional connection people have to these specific characters, because then guess what? That means more money coming into their pockets. Let's just say you have somebody who has never played Honkai Star Rail, right? And they're a huge Fate fan, and they see, oh my god, I can play these characters. I'm gonna download Honkai Star Rail. I'm gonna go through the story, get to the point where I can do the Fate story, and I want to pull these characters because I want these characters. Guess what? Hoyoverse succeeded in that aspect because they brought in players. Whether they stay or not is regardless. They pulled and spent money for the characters. That is their whole premise as a company. So being upset, sure, you can be upset all you want, but you have to minimize your expectations for future collabs. Will they do better in the future with collabs with whoever? Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. You can't have high expectations. So I think people are really misguided in that aspect, and they just need to tone it down a little.